Hi everyone, it's Clint from Persuasive Evangelism, and today we're gonna go over this movie, relatively new movie. I just watched it, Left Behind: Rise of the Antichrist. So I've seen all the Left Behind movies. I'll probably start doing some videos on some other Christian movies I've watched that I've enjoyed. But the original, I think there were at least two, maybe three Left Behind. So Left Behind was a huge series about what happens during the tribulation after the rapture, when God's people are raptured up and vanish, and then the tribulation when the Antichrist rules for 7 years before God comes back, Jesus comes back. But there's debate on when the rapture will occur. Will it occur at the beginning of the tribulation, or midway through, or just at the end when Jesus returns? All God's people are caught up with Jesus. But the original but it was a huge Christian best-selling. There were like a lot of books. I don't remember how many, 10, 12, but I never read them. But I watched the original series with Kirk Cameron, and they were okay. They were kind of lower budget, but I watched them probably a couple of years ago. I had never seen them. And then there was another one that came out a few years back. I can't remember who was in it, but that one was okay. But this one I really liked. It's not a sequel to any of those. It just starts off again with when the rapture happens. But it has a lot of actors I like in here. Kevin Sorbo, he's been in a lot of Christian movies. He's a Christian, and he was Hercules in the Hercules series in the 90s, and then that guy was in recent movies. I can't think of his name, but what I like about this one, it's very, like, the acting's good, the production is really good, but there's intelligence to it, the script and so on. So kind of like it talks like how government can take, it talks about like, I forgot what government, but some politicians stated, like, take advantage of any crisis. Basically, you can get more power, the government can get more power, kind of like with COVID and so on, all that, where they can take a lot of power. But so basically when the rapture happens, across the world, millions and millions of people vanish. So that's when the Antichrist comes in, and basically, people are in fear. Their loved ones, relatives, friends, neighbors have vanished across the whole world, and that's where can then, for the people to agree for a one world government. And then what I thought was interesting was the Antichrist used the rapture kind of to generate more fear, like basically saying that they have experts on the TV saying could it happen again, and then they're questioning what it was. Was it like aliens came and abducted people? Or they even had like a pastor, which I thought was interesting, on saying, the pastor of some mega church saying, it wasn't the rapture because I wasn't raptured, and hundreds of my congregation weren't raptured either. So maybe some church that wasn't really a Christian church, just in name only. So I thought that was interesting. And then at some point, everyone's phones start ring like doing an alarm, and then alarms in all the cities start going, doing the alarm noise, and then basically saying people are starting to vanish again, when in reality they weren't being raptured, but they were putting the fear, like, could happen again. So people were even more fear, and then basically the Antichrist, looking at the Antichrist and their government, their one world government, for their basically savior instead of the Jesus. But it talks about these people that were left behind that weren't Christians, but maybe their wife was Christian, or even a pastor that was left behind that wasn't a Christian, and then they come to Christ realizing what had happened, that they need to spread the good news. But I thought I really liked this. I thought this movie, I was kind of hesitant when I got it, but I really liked it. So I recommend this one. Out of all the Left Behind movies, I recommend this one. So thanks everyone. Goodbye. God bless.